Hey everyone, this is Nikita from Parcel Tracker, and today I'm going to show you guys how I'd set up my account for hospitals and healthcare environments. Hospitals receive all kinds of deliveries every day, from medical supplies and equipment to even sometimes personal deliveries for staff. However, many hospitals are still handling all of this manually, and in a setting where timing really matters, even small bottlenecks can affect how smoothly teams work and ultimately patient care. Parcel Tracker aims to help speed up the intake process and make it easier to track items as they move through the hospital. Our multi-mailroom workflow is designed for hospitals that operate across different interconnected buildings like different departments, specialized units, or different wards. By the end of this video, your parcel management workflow should look something like this. Parcel arrives to the building. I can scan parcels with my phone camera using the Parcel Tracker mobile app. Select Scan Parcels and press and hold the button over the label. Upon scanning parcels, I can select tags, get a wider photo of the parcel, and assign it a storage location. I press Submit to continue scanning. I can do this for multiple parcels in a row. This is my second parcel. Again, I press and hold the button over the name. Select tags, a storage location, and get an additional photo. Once I've scanned everything in, I press Next, and then Check In, and this will notify recipients to collect their parcels. To move my parcels to another site, my internal courier will go to the Move tab, select Pickup, select the site where they're picking up parcels from, and he can either scan the parcel labels or select them from the top bar. When he's done, we press Next, and then Pick Up. Those parcels will now be marked as handled. When he's at the next site, he will select Drop Off from the Move tab. Again, scan or select the parcels that he's dropping off. Press Confirm, Next, Drop Off, and select the site where he's dropping off the parcels to. He can also deliver parcels directly to the recipient. Again, from the Move tab, select Drop Off, scan or select the parcels from the top bar, confirm, press Next, and instead of Drop Off, he'll press Collect. He can then get a signature to confirm delivery. If recipients are collecting their parcels from a pickup point, they can present their QR code to the attending staff. The staff will go to the Out tab, select Recipient Check Out, scan the QR code, and then scan the label of the parcel that the recipient is going to collect. Press Next, Check Out. Staff can switch to Recipient e-signature, and then Check Out to mark the parcel as collected. First things first, I want to set up a Parcel Tracker account. Now, for hospitals that require the multi-mailroom workflow, you'll need at least the Pro plan. But if you feel that you're not ready to commit yet, then don't worry, you'll be able to sign up for free, and once you do, you'll get a 14-day free trial of the Pro plan. This is what Parcel Tracker would look like when you first sign in. First, I want to show you guys how to customize your account. So to do that, let's go to Settings. And from here, you can edit your company name, upload your company logo, and even add an address. When you're happy with the changes, select Save Changes. Next, I want to enable some features that will help me out later on when I start scanning in parcels. So to do that, let's go to the Features tab. And I want to enable additional parcel detail. What this does is that it will allow me to add digital tags, assign parcels a storage location, and even get a wider photo of the parcels so I know what it looks like. In busy environments like hospitals, this can really help staff stay organized and prevent parcels from going missing. Once that's done, I can finally start configuring the rest of my account. So let's go back to the dashboard. And first, I want to configure my sites. So let's go to Sites. When you're setting this up, I want you to think of each site as a different delivery point inside the hospital. So in this example, the hospital's mailroom would be located in the main clinical building. And from here, parcels can either be collected or moved to a different building. So let's say I have a labs building and I also have an administrative support building. And once these sites are created, Parcel Tracker will allow you to scan items from the main mailroom and then route them to different buildings. Every time that an internal courier would move parcels between different sites, Parcel Tracker will track each handoff. This way, you'll have full visibility into where items are as they move through the hospital. So to add a site, just select Add Site and enter the name and any of these optional details. I can also edit site details. So for this example, let's edit hospital and name it as my main clinical building or my main mailroom. Now that that's done, I can finally set up my recipients. So to do that, let's go to Recipients. And from here, you can either bulk upload recipients using a CSV list or you can add them in individually. The reason why we want to upload a recipients list first is because Parcel Tracker will use this data to match parcels to the correct recipient and notify them at the same time. Without a list, Parcel Tracker will not be able to detect recipients, and staff may need to put those parcels on hold to process them properly later on. This creates a backlog in the mailroom, which is exactly what we're trying to avoid. I first want to acknowledge any concerns regarding data security. We are ISO certified, GDPR compliant, and regularly undergo penetration testing and independent third-party security audits. If you want to request any of our certificates, you can go to parceltracker.com/trust-center. So first, I'll show you guys how to bulk upload recipients. To do that, go to Import List. And from here, you can either select a file from your device, or you can download this template that you can fill in. This is what that template looks like. In hospitals, your recipient list may include representatives in different departments who are ordering supplies and equipment, or it can also include staff who want to receive their personal parcels at the hospital. You'll notice that there are some optional fields, but the most important ones you'll need will be the recipient's first name, their last name, their email. The reason why we want their email is because Parcel Tracker uses this as the primary notification platform. And finally, their location, so this can be the recipient's department or ward in any of my 3 sites. And since we're using the multi-mailroom workflow, we also want to fill in site and additional site. Let's say that I work in the pathology office of the labs building. I want to list my site as labs. And for additional site, you want to list the main touchpoint, which in this case would be the main clinical building or the main mailroom. Here's my sample recipient CSV list. I have a mix of staff who are from different departments and different sites. So again, location would be the recipient's specific department or room. The site will be where that department or room is located. And additional site is listed as the main mailroom/main clinical building for all recipients. So when your recipient list is ready, all you have to do is select Browse File, select the file from your device, tick this box that says you have permission to upload the data, select Continue. Make sure that each column is mapped to the correct properties, so I'll give you guys an example of when I encountered an error. In this case, unit, which I used to define room numbers, was not recognized as a property, so all I had to do was select the correct one, and in this case it would have been the location. When you're done, press Continue. Review the data. You can even make any last-second changes from here. Continue. Then confirm and upload the data. Parcel Tracker will show you if there were any errors during the process, if there were any duplicate recipients, or if any recipient data was updated from an old CSV list. Since ID and alias are empty, we can hide them. So to do that, just hover over the field and select the hamburger icon and click Hide. Next, I'll show you guys how to upload recipients individually. So let's say that I have a staff member who I want to authorize to be able to order supplies for a specific department. Click Add Recipient and enter the necessary details. Don't forget to select the correct site and additional site if applicable. When you're done, you can select Add and Create Another to add a new recipient or Add to close the window. Next, I want to set up my scanning devices. Since Parcel Tracker is a mobile app, I can use a phone or a tablet. Apple or Android both work, but for best performance, we recommend at least an iPhone SE or an Android with 6 GB of RAM and a 2.8 GHz processor. You can have designated devices in each site, or you can have staff download Parcel Tracker on their personal phones, and if so, you want to add them in as Mailroom users. So to do that, let's go back to Settings, click Mailroom Users, and select Invite User. Enter the necessary details. You can also select permission levels, so let's say that this user only needs to be able to scan in parcels, scan them out, and maybe add recipients, then you can just invite them as normal. But if you want them to toggle features and edit site details, then invite them as admin. You can even select site access. Typically, mailer operations managers and general couriers should have access to all sites, and you can toggle all of those. But if you have a receptionist who only works in one building and delivers parcels to people in that building, then you can just select that building. When you're done, press send, and that user will have received an invite to their email. Next, I want to set up my tags, so to do that, let's go to Tags. And you'll see that Parcel Tracker already has some default tags. So as mentioned prior, when you scan in a parcel using the Parcel Tracker mobile app, you'll be able to add a tag. In a hospital, I can use tags to identify what type of item I'm handling and where it needs to go. I can use tags like cold storage, lab equipment, medical supplies, pharmaceuticals, or I can use routing tags for each department or each ward. So to add a tag, just select Add Tag, enter the name, and you can even select the color so that it's easier to see. Once that's done, I can also set up my storage locations. So to do that, just select Storage Locations. When you first scan in a parcel using Parcel Tracker, you'll be able to assign it a storage location, and that way you always know where it is. So to add a storage location, just select Add Location, and enter the name, then save and add another to add a new one, or save to close the window. To add storage locations for a different site, just select this drop-down bar and select the site, and do the same thing that we did earlier. Finally, I want to set up my recipient notifications. So to do that, let's go back to our dashboard and select Notifications. Delivery and collection notifications are on by default. A delivery notification is what the recipient would receive when the parcel is first scanned in, and it will contain a QR code which they can use to collect the parcel. A collection notification is basically confirmation that that recipient has collected their parcel. In normal workflows, reminder notifications can be set up if recipients leave their parcels uncollected for too long. But in hospitals, there's usually an internal courier who can deliver parcels to the rightful recipients. Sign-up notifications are similar to collections, so when a recipient is added to the Parcel Tracker recipients list, they'll get an email confirming that they've been added. To edit a notification, all you have to do is select Actions and click Edit to edit the template. You'll see a preview of what the notification would look like, so it would include a QR code, which the recipient can present to the mailroom clerk to collect their parcel. To edit the subject and subheading, all you have to do is enter the new message, and in the heading you can choose to address the recipient by their first name, by their last name, or by their alias if they have one. You can even toggle advanced parcel details, so it will show the recipient things like notes, courier information, and when the parcel arrived. When you're happy with the changes, select Submit. If you want to edit notifications for a different site, select this drop-down bar and then toggle them. If you want the same notifications across all sites, select Actions and assign all. And you can even remove a notification from the selected site. Now that all of this is done, I can finally start scanning in some parcels. Right now, on the left, you're seeing my personal phone screen, and on the right, we have some sample labels that we'll be scanning later on. I first want to show you guys where you can find Parcel Tracker on the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store. So whichever one you're on, go to Search, look for Parcel Tracker, and select Parcel Tracker-Mailroom. After downloading the app, sign in with your account details, and you'll be able to start scanning in some parcels. But before that, I want to introduce these 5 tabs. So the first one is In, which is what we'll use to scan in parcels. Out to scan out parcels. Move to move parcels between 2 different sites. Manage to manage parcels, recipients, and users. And Settings to access our live chat support, our knowledge base, toggle features, and select scanning mode. So let's say that parcels have arrived to the mailroom in the main clinical building. All I have to do is select Scan Parcels, hold the camera over the label, and press and hold the button to pick up the name, and do it again to pick up the barcode. And because we enabled the additional parcel details feature in the beginning, we'll be able to add a photo, select tags, and even assign it a storage location. Click Submit. And I can do this for multiple parcels in a row. So let's have my second parcel. And my third parcel. When all parcels have been scanned in, select Next. Parcel Tracker will show you a preview of all those parcels, and when you're done, press Check-in. Next, I want to show you guys how to move parcels between two different sites. Let's say that Isaac's 2 parcels will need to be moved to the labs building. Select the Move tab. Your courier will select Pickup. Select the building that they're picking up the parcels from, and they can either scan the labels, or they can select them from this top bar. They'll have to press this parcel icon and select the correct parcels. Once they've selected the correct parcels, they have to press Next and Pick Up. Now let's say that my courier has arrived to the labs building. He'll select Drop Off, and again he can either scan those parcels or select them from the top bar. Confirm, select Next. This can go one of two ways. If, for example, the labs building has its own storage room or mailroom that has its own process for delivering parcels, then he can just select Drop Off and select the correct building. Or if he's delivering directly to the recipient, he'll select Collect and obtain signature to confirm delivery. But since we're just moving parcels between two different sites, we'll just select Drop Off. Since we're in the main clinical building, these parcels will not be reflected on our dashboard anymore. But if we go to the labs building, to do that, let's go to Settings, My Account, Change Site, and select Labs. You'll see that those parcels that were dropped off by the courier are now reflected in this account. So let's go back to the main clinical building for now. Again, select My Account, Change Site, and then select the correct site and confirm. So we have one more parcel checked in, and that's Albert's, and let's say that we need to deliver it to him in the admin building. Again, select Move. Your courier will pick it up. Confirm, Next, and then mark as picked up. And when he's finally at the admin building, he'll select Drop Off, scan or select the parcel, press Confirm, Next. In this example, he's delivering directly to Albert, so instead of Drop Off, he'll select Collect. Get the recipient's signature to confirm delivery, and mark it as collected. Now I'm going to show you guys how Recipient Checkout would work. Let's first go back to the labs building. So Recipient Checkout will only be used if the recipient will be picking up their parcel from the designated collection area. Let's say, for example, that Isaac's parcels are his personal online deliveries. First, he would have received a notification in his email to collect the parcel. His parcels were actually directed to my email, so let's see if we got the notification. And you'll see that we did. So to collect his parcels, Isaac would have to present this QR code to the collection point, and from there, staff can select Recipient Checkout. First, scan the QR code, and then they can select the parcels from this top bar, or they can scan them in. When they're done, press next, and then check out. And since a QR code was used, you can just proceed to checkout or switch to recipient e-signature, and then check out. You can also facilitate self-service collections through the Parcel Tracker Kiosk app. Let's say that your site has a package room for self-service collections. You'll need to assign a device with the Kiosk app installed, and from there, recipients can scan their QR codes on the kiosk, select their parcels, and then sign them off. Now we're back at the Parcel Tracker web dashboard, and I want to show you guys the Parcels tab. So let's press Parcels. And let's open one of Isaac's parcels. And now you'll see a timeline of when it was first checked in, when it was picked up by the internal courier, when it was dropped off and then checked into the next site, and when it was finally collected. You can also mark parcels as collected in the Parcels tab, so let's open this new parcel. All you have to do is select Checkout Parcel and obtain the signature. I want to show you guys one more tab that I think you'll find really helpful, and that's our statistics. Since this is a new account, we don't have a lot of data here, but I'll show you guys an example of what it would look like once you've spent enough time with the software. On this page, you'll see things like your peak check-in times and peak checkout times, your top couriers, and your average parcel turnaround time. Average parcel turnaround time refers to the amount of time it takes for a parcel to be collected after it was first signed in. Now I'm going to give you guys an example of how I would use these statistics. So let's say that my peak check-in and checkout times are between the hours of 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I can use this data to allocate more resources, like extra helping hands, parcel trolleys, or I can even perform an audit around 7 a.m. to make sure that there's enough space in my mailroom for all the incoming deliveries. As for average parcel turnaround time, if I notice that deliveries are taking too long to be collected, it may mean that I need to hire more internal couriers, or identify bottlenecks in different sites which could be holding up the delivery of important equipment or supplies. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Please let us know if you found this video helpful, which features you like best, or which features you want to see us add in the future. See you next time.